Namaste viewers and listeners. Myself Dr. Brahmadatta Sharma, Associate Professor, Department of Komar Vritya, Shri Shirdi Sai Baba Ayurvedic College, Dendwal, Jaipur. Today I am going to talk about thalassemia. Thalassemia is a group of disease that have an autosomal recessive genetic basis involving inadequate production of normal hemoglobin as a result of the defective synthesis of one or more globin chains. The main important things are autosomal recessive genetic basis, second is inadequate production of normal hemoglobin, the cause is defective synthesis of globin chain. In 1930, it was discovered from Greek word thales means sea, because the disease were first known around the Mediterranean Sea. When we see the incidence, it is commonly found in members of ethnic group whose origins are near the Mediterranean Sea and equatorial or near equatorial regions of Asia and Middle East and mainly Africa. About 1 lakh children are born every year over the world with homozygous state of thalassemia. It is in India 9,000 thalassemic children are born every year. Before starting the pathology, we have to see the normal human hemoglobin. When we see in adults, mainly 3 types of hemoglobin is found. First one is hemoglobin A, that is formed by 2 alpha and 2 beta chains. It is around 97% of total. Next is hemoglobin A2. It is forms by 2 alpha and 2 delta chain. It is around 3% of total. And next is fetal hemoglobin or hemoglobin F. The parts 2 alpha and 2 gamma chains. It is around 1% of total. And other is embryonic or Gover's hemoglobin, hemoglobin 1, 2 and hemoglobin Portland. Alpha chain production mainly depends on chromosome 16 and beta chain on chromosome 11. When the deformity occurs in both chromosomes, either alpha, either beta, the disease thalassemia occur according to chromosome which is affected. When we see the pathophysiology, when there is mutation in alpha globin gene, then result is alpha thalassemia. When there is defect gene inheritance, that is thalassemia major. When there is defect 1 beta globin, minor disruption in beta globin synthesis, that is called thalassemia minor. And next is existence of a mutation in both beta gene, then there is significant impairment of beta globin synthesis, then marked reduction in hemoglobin production and profound anemia, that is called beta thalassemia major. The result is hemolysis from an alpha and beta globin chains which are normally paired. The excess unpaired alpha or beta globin chains aggregates, form a precipitate that damages RBC membrane, and result is intravascular hemolysis. When we see the inheritance pattern of thalassemia, the four pictures come. First one is when mother is unaffected and father is carrier, then there is chances of 50% carrier progeny. In second case, when both parents are carrier, then 50% progeny is carrier and one is affected from thalassemia. In next case, when mother has thalassemia and father is carrier, the result is 50% are carrier and 50% are having thalassemia. In last case, when mother has thalassemia and father has thalassemia, all progeny have, that is 100% have thalassemia. Then comes on type, mainly on globin chain alpha and beta. In alpha thalassemia, the types are silent carrier, alpha thalassemia trait or minor alpha thalassemia, hemoglobin H disease, and alpha thalassemia major, that is hemoglobin Bart's, and rare type is hemoglobin constant spring. Other type of thalassemia related to beta chain, that is beta thalassemia trait or minor, beta thalassemia intermedia, and beta thalassemia major. We can also call Cooley's anemia. First, we will discuss alpha thalassemia. What are the possible mutation states in this? When there is loss of one gene, then it appears as silent carrier. When there is loss of two genes, it appears as thalassemia minor or thalassemia trait. When there is loss of three genes, there is hemoglobin H disease. So there is accumulation of beta chain because three chains of alpha globin is missed here, so beta chains is more. Association of beta chain in group of 4, this is called hemoglobin H. And next condition is loss of all 4 genes, it is called hemoglobin Bart's. No alpha chain production, only gamma chain is present, or we can say association of 4 gamma chains, it is called hemoglobin Bart's. And last rare condition is HB constant spring similar to HBH but no microcytosis. HBH is the condition where is loss of 3 genes. Normally 4 genes are present, but when we see the loss of 1, 2 or 3 level, the disease features and type is changed. Next is beta thalassemia. Beta 0 refers to the complete absence of the production of beta globin on the affected allele. Beta plus refer to allele with some residual production of beta globin around 10%. Beta plus the reduction of beta globin production is very mild. The loss of one gene, this is called thalassemia minor trait, that is beta thalassemia minor. In this there is increase of hemoglobin A2. In this hemoglobin A is normal and hemoglobin F is normal also. In other condition, when there is loss of both genes, that is called thalassemia intermedia and thalassemia major. The condition according to gene beta plus, beta plus or beta 0. Next is clinical outcomes of alpha thalassemia. We will see according to type. The first type is silent carriers. In this there is asymptomatic or normal features. In case of alpha thalassemia trait, there is no anemia or mild anemia. Anemia may be microcytic, usually small red blood cells due to low hemoglobin in RBC. In third type, that is hemoglobin H disease, this is severe and life threatening. In this there is microcytosis and hemolysis. What is hemolysis? That is breakdown of RBC that results in severe anemia, which may produce bone deformity and splenomegaly. There is golf ball inclusion on microscopy. And last type is Barts, or we can say hemoglobin Barts or hydrops fetalis. In this, fluid build up in fetal compartments lead to death occur in utero. This is severe type. Mostly child died in uterus. So mainly the severe type of alpha thalassemia is hemoglobin H disease. Next is beta thalassemia. Mainly three type. In beta thalassemia minor or trait, maximum patients are asymptomatic. Microcytosis and minor anemia is there. There is elevated hemoglobin A2 around more than 3.4%. Next is beta thalassemia intermedia. The symptoms similar to Cooley's anemia but less severe. This is the median of beta thalassemia minor and major. The main type of beta thalassemia is beta thalassemia major. We can also say Cooley's anemia, the most severe form. In this there is moderate to severe anemia, intramedullary hemolysis. In this RBC die before full development. There is peripheral hemolysis and splenomegaly, skeletal abnormalities due to overcompression by bone marrow. In last stage there is congestive heart failure and pulmonary hypertension. When we see the common feature, the hemolytic phases, thalassaemic phases, or we can say chipmunk phases. There is frontal bossing, prominent maxilla, and due to prominent maxilla there is teeth exposure, depressed nasal bridge, and malocclusion of teeth. You can see in this picture the thalassaemic phases, and in right picture splenomegaly. The most important thing is diagnosis. First come blood test. In blood test, RBC will appear hypochromic. What is hypochromic? There is less hemoglobin, so RBC color is less red. Microcytic, that is small RBC. Anisocytosis, this is variation in size. There is different size of RBCs. And poikilocytosis, there is variation in shape. RBC shape is also different. Another important thing is basophilic stippling. What is basophilic stippling? Granule dispersed in cytoplasm. Next is fragmented erythrocytes and leucolated RBC. RBC is normally found without nucleus because nucleus is disappear in primary or immature stage. When it found, there is chances of immature stage of RBC. Next feature is polychromasia. What is polychromasia? There is high immature RBC in blood. Classical feature is target cell. Target cell is dark center surrounding by the white ring. Then another dark center. Next is leukocytosis present. Leukocyte count is high, maybe due to any infections. Platelet count normal unless there is splenomegaly. Hemoglobin level range from 2 to 8 gram per liter, and MCV and MCSC significantly low. The screening of thalassemia is done by Nestroff test, that is naked eye single tube red cell osmotic fragility test. In the case of thalassemia, osmotic fragility is increased. In urine examination, there is increased urobilinogen. In stool examination, there is dark stool and increased stercobilinogen. Next important test is HB electrophoresis. When we say in the normal condition, maximum HbA is found, that is 97%, followed by HbA2 and then HbF. In case of major thalassemia, the HbA is absent and HbF is maximum and HbA2 is variable. In case of minor thalassemia, HbA is around 80 to 90% and HbA2 is more and HbF is variable. When we see the radiological change is after 1 year. The classical feature is hair on end appearance. When we see the skull X-ray, there is hair like structure. X-ray of metacarpal, ribs, vertebra show thinning of the cortex. The cortex is thin in condition of thalassemia, and there is generalized skeletal osteoporosis. You can see in this picture. In management, first is blood transfusion, and next is medicine. In medicine, the mainly use of chelators, the iron chelators, timely lab investigation, counseling, and management of complications. First we see the blood transfusion. When we should start blood transfusion? When hemoglobin level is less than 7 gram per dl on 2 occasions more than 2 weeks apart, in absence of factors like infections, or we can say hemoglobin is more than 7 gram per dl in beta plus thalassemia major and in severe forms if impaired growth, severe bone changes, and enlarged liver and spleen is there. So we can start at more than 7 gram per dl. We should not wait for less than 7. We should quick start the blood transfusion. What is the target of blood transfusion? To maintain pre-transfusion hemoglobin level between 9 to 10, keep mean post-transfusion hemoglobin at 13.5 to 15.5 gram per dl, and keep mean hemoglobin between 12 to 12.5 gram per dl. What should be the interval? Usually 4-week interval, but varies from individual patients, range from 2 to 6 weekly. Usual rate of hemoglobin decline is at 1 gram per dl per week. What should be the volume of transfusion? It should be 15 to 20 ml per kg. Maximum packed cell RBC. In presence of cardiac failure or hemoglobin is less than 5 gram per dl, use lower volume packed cell RBC less than 5 ml per kg at slow infusion rate over 4 hours with IV furosemide 1 ml per kg. The maximum dose of furosemide is 20 Fg. Next is iron chelating therapy. Because frequent blood transfusion, after 10 to 15 blood transfusion, the chelating therapy required. It should be started when ferritin level is more than 1000 nanogram per dl in 2 measurements, or transferrin saturation is more than 70 to 80%. In less than 2 years of child, defuroxamine 20 to 25 mg per kg per day should be given over 8 to 12 hours in frequency of 5 times for weeks. So 8 to 12 hours, mostly in night. Injecting pump should be used for this therapy. because it is given by subcutaneous mode. In case of child between age 2 to 6 year, deferoxamine 25 to 40 mg per kg 5 times a week over 8 to 12 hours should be given, or deferox oral 20 to 30 mg per kg per day. Starting dose is 20 mg per kg per day. After age of 6 year, in case of iron overload, it is assessed through MRI. Iron chelator used according to MRI results. Next therapy is bone marrow transplantation. Potential curative option when there is HLA compatible sibling donor is present. Transplant are still inferior with higher morbidity, mortality and rejection rates. Classification of patients into Pesaro risk group based on the presence of 3 risk factors, that is hepatomegaly more than 2 cm, irregular iron chelation and presence of liver fibrosis. In this condition, best result if performed at the earliest age possible in class 1 patients. Other therapy in preterm phase is stem cell therapy and gene therapy. Upcoming and again cost effective factor is the drawback. Next is splenectomy, the surgical procedure. Its indication is blood consumption volume of PRBC is 1.5 times from normal, more than 200 to 220 ml per kg year in those more than 5 years of age to maintain average hemoglobin level. Evidence of hypersplenism. There should be penicillin prophylaxis for life after splenectomy. Low dose aspirin, that is 75 mg daily, if thrombocytosis after splenectomy. Next is diet and supplements. Oral folates at minimum 1 mg per daily. Low dose vitamin C at 3 mg per kg augments iron excretion for those on deferral only. Dose is less than 10 years 50 mg daily and more than 10 years 100 mg daily given only on deferral days. Avoid iron rich foods such as red meat and iron fortified cereals or milk. Tea may help decrease intestinal iron absorption. Dairy products are recommended as they are rich in calcium, vitamin E as antioxidant and calcium and zinc. Ayurveda and thalassemia measure. This is important slide. In Ayurveda, we can compare thalassemia measure as Bij Dushti Janya Vikar, or we can say genetic disorder. Acharya Charak explained that specific avayav, that is organ, would be vikrat if doshas vitiate specific bij or bij bhag avayav. What is bij? That is sperm or ovum, and bij bhag avayav is chromosome. Other concept is atulya gotri vivah. Tulya Gotri Vivah will increase the chance of genetic and hereditary disorders. We also know this. Next is Anukta Vyadhi, or we can say unknown disease. Anukta Vyadhi has been described in Charak Samhita based on Aptodesh Praman. Following that, thalassemia may be correlated with Bijdushti-janya Pandu Rog. So we can name this disease as Bijdushti-janya Pandu Rog, a new type of Pandu Rog. When we see the Samprapti, the doshas utpatti of Bij Bhag Avyava, the result is Visham Avastha of Dosh Dhatu and Mal. Then Pitta Pradhan Tridosh that affect the functions of Rakta Vaisrotas. Then process the formation of Rakta Dhatu is affected and there is Rakta Vikrati and the formation of new disease, the Tridosh Janya or Bijdushti Janya Pandu. The main important thing is Ayurvedic management. What we can do in thalassemia? We cannot stop the disease process, but we can manage the complication of thalassemia. We can use low sevajanya vikar prashman dravyas, the drugs for complication due to intake of iron and iron containing drugs. Other things, low shodhan gan, low maran gan and low dravak gan, specific sets of drug used for purification of impure iron. As the symptomatic treatment, we can use the drugs prescribed in Pandu Rog Chikitsa, Yakrat Vikar Chikitsa, Pliha Vikar Chikitsa, Rakta Shodhan, Sroto Shodhan, Tridosh Har and Rasayan Dravyas. Specific drugs like Gandhakadi Yog described in Ayurved Prakash. The main content of Gandhakadi Yog is Shuddha Gandhak, Vidang, Agastya and Bhrangaraj. Very popular drug used in anemia, that is Dadim Gharat and Majja Siddh Gharat. Other preparations like Dhatri Avle, Tifradi Avle, Musta Tifladi Avle is very important. Punarnavadi Vati, Manjista, Khadir like Rakta Shodhan drugs, and the part of research is Aja Rakta Basti, the mainly goat blood is used in this. This is also effective treatment in thalassemia major. Thank you very much. If you like my video, please click on like button and subscribe my channel for other interesting videos.